right, folks, welcome to the first scheduled December meeting of the Bridgeport Borough Council. It is 7:31 on December 8th, 2020. Folks, meeting is called to order. If you could join me in pledging the flag. And again, generally, just I know there have been some questions. We generally stay seated here just so we have a nice uniform look while we pledge. If that's all right with everybody, we'll do it that way. You can join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. And Angela, roll call, please.
Corey Scott.
Here.
James Fee.
Here.
Randy Bennett.
Here.
Megan Nolan.
Here.
Diane Gundrum.
Here.
Tony Heil.
Here.
Kyle Schenk.
Here. Thank you. That's everyone present and accounted for. And for the record, we were in executive session from 7 o'clock until 7:30, discussing some personnel matters and some legal issues. Mr. Truman.
All right, very well. Thank you, President Schenk. First up, for council consideration, the adoption of meeting minutes for the November 10th, 2020 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A motion from Ms. Nolan, seconded by Mr. Scott, to adopt the meeting minutes from November 10th. Any additional questions or comments from council? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is unanimous. Thank you.
Very good. Next up for council consideration, adoption of meeting minutes from the November 24th, 2020 meeting.
I will also make that motion.
I will second.
Motion from Ms. Nolan, seconded by Mr. Fee, to adopt the meeting minutes from November 24th, 2020. Additional questions or comments from council? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, that passes unanimously. Thank you.
All right. Next on the agenda for council consideration, Resolution 2020-33, establishing the borough fee schedule for 2021. And I would just like to note that there are no changes, be they increases or decreases, in any of the fees in the fee schedule for 2021.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion for Mr. Heil, seconded by Ms. Gundrum, to adopt the fee schedule as shown by Mr. Truman for next year. Any additional questions or comments from council? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up for council consideration, a curb cut request for 212 Holstein Street. Members of council, in your packets, you will find a memorandum from the Traffic and Parking Subcommittee with a the topic of the memorandum is a recommendation to approve the curb cut request at 212 Holstein Street. The Traffic and Parking Subcommittee recently evaluated a curb cut request. They recommend council approves contingent upon obtaining necessary permits. This is a proposed rear loading parking space that would remove vehicles from on-street parking, and nearby properties have already constructed similar off-street parking.
So moved.
Second.
Heard Mr. Bennett, and then I think I heard Ms. Gundrum on the second there. To move forward with the recommendation from the Parking and Traffic Subcommittee regarding the curb cut request on Holstein Street. Any additional questions or comments from council? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that passes unanimously. Thank you.
Very good. Next up, moving on to finance. For council consideration, a motion to pay bills and salaries for the month of December.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Heard the motion from Mr. Fee, seconded by Ms. Nolan to pay the salary and bills. Any additional questions or comments from council? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you.
All right. Next up for council consideration, a motion to adopt the 2021 budget. Over the last 2 meetings, we have done the annual budget presentation where we broke it down between general fund, sewer fund, capital fund, as well as the other ancillary funds. If there are any further questions or comments from council, we can certainly discuss them now. Otherwise, we should entertain a motion to adopt the budget.
I will make the motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Mr. Heil, seconded by Mr. Scott to adopt the 2021 budget as advertised. Any additional questions or comments from council? And Keith and the Finance Committee, just for myself, thank you for all the hard work on that. It's been a challenging year, and we're able to go into this budget for next year with no additional taxes or fees to burden the residents in town. So much appreciated and well done on that.
Thank you. And I would make a note that just for the audience's edification, this is the 8th consecutive year that Bridgeport Borough Council has not had to move to increase real estate taxes.
Thank you, Mr. Truman, and Ms. Gear as well. Angela, thank you for all of your help with that. I know you were working. So, all right, folks. With that said, all those in favor of adopting that budget for next year?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. That passes unanimously. And I said Angela Gear. I meant Angela Long. I'm sorry.
Angela Gear helps. Both Angelas help in their own ways.
That passes unanimously. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you all. And finally, from the finance section of tonight's agenda, for council consideration, an accounting services agreement with Tom Josiah Consulting. Members of council, in your packets, you will find a memorandum from myself detailing this proposed accounting services agreement. This would be on an extremely limited basis. I don't envision this exceeding more than probably about 10 hours a month. And that's on average. Could be a little bit more. Some months could be a little bit less. But I anticipate this being about 10 hours a month, 120 hours, somewhere in that vicinity total on an annual basis. And this is for the purposes of assisting our finance department with some routine tasks such as reconciliations, trial balance analysis, and helping our staff prepare for the annual obligatory audit.
I will make the motion, and just want to point out that the Finance Committee members did discuss this with Keith to go over some of the specifics and make sure it works with our budget, and it does, and it's probably a very good practical sense for the borough for checking numbers, getting things done in a timely fashion, and assisting to make sure that everything can be handled amongst all of the financial needs that the borough has. With that in mind, I do make the motion and recommend that.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Mr. Heil, seconded by Mr. Scott, to enter into the accounting services agreement with Tom Josiah Consulting, as described by Mr. Truman. Any additional questions or comments from council?
One additional comment: it would be subject to the contract will be subject to review by our solicitor, our legal team, and then the contract executed will be subject to any of those edits or comments.
Thank you, Keith. All right, with that said, folks, all those in favor of entering into that services agreement with Tom Josiah Consulting?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that passes unanimously. Thank you.
All right, very good. That concludes the manager's portion of the manager's report portion, I should say, portion of the agenda for tonight. And with that, we can proceed to unfinished business. Are there any matters of unfinished business that council would like to discuss this evening? Very good. Seeing none. Committee reports. Are there any members of council with committee reports to share this evening? Very good. Seeing none, we can proceed to the mayor's report. Mayor Barbie, do you have anything to share this evening, sir?
I have nothing to report this evening.
All right. Thank you, Mayor Barbie. Moving forward to the chief's report. Chief Beretta.
Good evening, everyone. So you might have noticed that there's a lot of construction work that's on the 4th Street corridor. We'd ask people to take a little bit more time and be patient with your travels down that way so that we don't have issues. You may see some police units down in that area just to ensure the safety of the workers that are down in that area, as well as the parking. You will have seen that there is some significant parking enforcement that's going on in the 4th Street corridors. So one of the things to be mindful of when you go outside, look at the registration certificates that are on your windshield. See if they have expired. That's one of the two main things that will tell us whether or not your vehicle will be considered abandoned. So look at your registration card, and obviously if your car is drivable, and if you have vehicle registration, or vehicle inspection that's current. If not, that can be an issue for parking on a borough street or byway. If you have any questions, please give me a call during normal working hours, and I can explain some of that. But so that way you don't get a ticket. I'd like to thank the Knights of Columbus today. We went out and got out 10 wreaths to some of our borough residents. So thank you, Carlos, and the Knights of the Knights of Columbus for their kind donation to the borough. Many thanks for the Thanksgiving assistance given by Jen at Fat Boy Deli. What a gem of Bridgeport. They generated 125 meals that were delivered within a relatively short period of time, and at the cost of TLC, a Bridgeport owned company. So thank you to TLC, and thank you, Jen, for all that you do to make Thanksgiving so much warmer for so many people. Our Christmas and annual Christmas toy drive's done very well. We've shopped. I want to thank all the companies that have assisted us, including the Sons and Sisters of Bridgeport. What a great organization. What a great results from everybody in Bridgeport to allow us to take care of our most precious asset, and that's the children of Bridgeport. So that was done. We had about 10 employees and former borough council members that came out. We had 3 members of the Public Works, Beth Jaxier, Kim Shrunk, both formerly of council, the borough manager, Officer Sell, Officer Rosario. Just great participation to put Bridgeport kids first. So very well done. We're going to be distributing Christmas meals now on the 21st and the 23rd of December for those that have been earmarked and contacted. We will be making distribution of those meals with the assistance of our great partner, the Bridgeport Elks. No one's finer than that group. So we'll be meeting and distributing the meals, the holiday meals. I want to thank Rebecca Grottinger and the Grottinger family for their many years of dedication and commitment to Bridgeport and getting out these meals through their connection with the Lower Providence Gun Club. On another matter, just EMC and COVID, we've got about 14,462,000 and change of COVID positives, 280,135 fatalities nationwide. 411,454 COVID positives in Pennsylvania. Of those, 24,429 are in Montgomery County, with 11,373 deaths. It's a lot. So we're asking people to stay the course. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree with every different thing within the political subdivisions. But we would ask you, and you guys have been doing great so far, is to stay the course. Wash your hands, maintain masking and social distancing. We're close to the finish line. We're getting to the point where there's going to be distribution of the 3 major vaccines starting within the next 30 days. So what does that mean to us? It means economic prosperity. It means all of the tough months pulling together and taking care of each other. His will not be in vain. So thank you for everything that you've done, and stay the course until we get through this. That's all I have for you tonight, but thank you. God bless. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Moving on to new business. Are there any items of new business for this evening? All right. Seeing none, we can move forward to the open forum and announcements. Any open forums, any announcements? Any? All right. Let's proceed to public comment. And for this evening, we do have one public comment from the Bridgeport Business Association, which was submitted earlier this morning. And it goes as follows. It's a statement of the recognition of the Bridgeport Police Department, dated December 8th, 2020. The Bridgeport Business Association and the Bridgeport business community at large would like to publicly acknowledge and recognize the professional and compassionate work of the Bridgeport Police Department. The business community of Bridgeport is at tremendous benefit and advantage as a result of the police department's service and protection. Additionally, and in these current times of challenge, the Bridgeport Business Association is honored to support and stand with Chief Beretta and the entire police department as they continue to ensure food security for Bridgeport families. The joy that is filling the hearts of Bridgeport's children and families during the Thanksgiving meal deliveries and the holiday toy drives is forever lasting. Such a partnership of the Bridgeport Business Association and the Bridgeport Police Department truly defines the meaning of Bridgeport, a small town but big community. Yours truly, the Bridgeport Business Association, Dr. Ray Abdallah and Mr. John Keene. So thank you to them for the very kind words, and thank you to Chief and the PD. With that, there are no further public comments. And if it so strikes council's fancy.
Before we do,
please.
Before we do adjourn, Mr. Truman, I just, as I was thinking about it, this is probably most likely going to be our last council meeting for the calendar year. So I just wanted to take a moment to make a comment. Everybody watching, council here, everybody in town, if you're viewing the meeting, thank you so much. It's been a challenging year, probably one of the most challenging years that many of us remember. And as a community, as a town, as neighbors, everybody really stepped up. And it wasn't just in March. It wasn't just when this thing hit. It's been sustained, and it's been something to see. So I hope everybody out there watching, residents, neighbors, business community, the institutions that make up this town, I hope you all know how much you're appreciated and how special this is in Bridgeport. Thanks for everything. It's been a tough year, and I try to sit here and make some notes about all of the groups that have stepped up and helped. The Festive Lights Committee 2 weeks ago with the fireworks show, that was a buster of a show. Randy and everybody that participated and donated and helped to make that happen, thank you so much. The Community Fund for the work you've been doing at the parks, the fire companies with taking Santa around town, the Sons and Sisters of Bridgeport with funding things, our business Business Association, the Knights of Columbus, the Catholic War Vets, the Elks, Growing Bridgeport Together, the people that run the Little Free Pantry, the Little Free Library. That list just keeps going. And for 3/4 of a square mile, there's a lot of heart here and a lot of people that really care about their town. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for all the work you put in this year.
Absolutely.
And with that, if somebody would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Are there any other comments or perhaps a motion to adjourn?
Any other emotional thank yous?
Yeah, just back up what you said. You thanked all those people, but I hope everyone has a great holiday. I'm sad that we won't be able to spend our holiday with our family like we would normally want to. But we have such a big, Bridgeport doesn't really feel like just a collection of houses. It really does feel like a family with how people have come together. And from, just going to Fat Boy Deli and everyone knows what you want to every block. We're very fortunate here. And I hope everyone has a very safe and happy New Year.
Yeah, you've put the spirit in me, Kyle. One thing that one task or duty that I'm normally responsible for the most part, but I haven't really had to do any of it so far this year, or at all this year, considering we're in December, is community events. We didn't get to do the carnival. We didn't do the 5K. We haven't had any of the speaker series that we had over the last 18 to 24 months prior. And and that leaves a void. It's not exactly what not tasks that you learn when you're going to grad school or what you plan on doing when you're managing a community. At least in terms of doing it directly and firsthand. But it's something that I enjoy. I think that it helps bring the community together, just like the festive lights and the tree lighting ceremony and the fireworks do every year. And the whole community missed out on that this year. No carnival, no 5K. I had been, and we had been as a community events committee, had been planning on introducing movie nights this summer, or the summer of 2020. We were going to have at least probably 6 nights interspersed throughout the summer, Friday or Saturday nights. We ordered a giant outdoor projector and a giant outdoor movie screen as well, and even an old timey popcorn maker to start holding movie nights, and that obviously got kiboshed with the advent of the coronavirus. But in talking to some of our neighboring communities that have been doing movie nights for many years, at the end of the season, a lot of them were able to figure it out and cobble together a socially distanced way of doing movie nights. And I think I would like to try to take that model and apply it here next year. So, I don't speak for council, quite the opposite actually. And I can't speak for the community events committee. I don't know if we're going to have a carnival that next year. I don't know if we're going to have a 5K, but I think that we will have movie nights next year, and maybe that'll be one step in the right direction to bringing community events and a sense of community back to Bridgeport, because it's there. It's just bottled up and buttoned up behind doors. So I just wanted to say that let's look forward to movie night at least.
Great thought, Keith. And I went through that litany of folks to thank, and I didn't mention Chief Bretta and the police department. Guys, what you did this year with going through all of the effort and the work to organize the meal delivery and the toy fund, wreaths and trees, all of that. Obviously, it's been so appreciated by town and well received. So, Chief, thank you for all the work you put into that, and your officers in the department as well, and staff.
Our pleasure. We'll pass it along.
That's all I got. Motion to adjourn, anyone?
I guess I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second.
All right, Mr. Scott and Ms. Nolan. It is 7:56. Everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, stay safe, follow the guidance of all of our various health
Merry
departments,
Christmas,
please.
Bridgeport.
And we will see you as soon as possible. Meeting adjourned.
David.